in this part of South London. It will be South London where the trophy goes today. It will be paraded either here or in Sutton. Crystal Palace are playing just down the road. It's all or nothing, and it's all or nothing even, and it all comes down to this, a mishmash of the two managers' pre-match statements. Charlton against Birmingham, and the winner is the BWSL 2 champion. So first touch for Jodie Hutton, who's playing on the left side for Charlton, wearing number 12, bottom of your screen. Ball bounces out off Lucy Fitzgerald. And so it will be a defensive throw to Birmingham City. Just casting an eye across the back line to see how they are lining up. A set of back three when we saw the team sheet. It does look like it'll be McKenna, Harris and Heron in a back three for Birmingham. Sophie Dennington has seen something. Foul on Katie Bradley. And a first opportunity inside the first minute to test the Birmingham back line here.
And I'm also looking as well, just at the pitch. There doesn't seem like there's much shade there as well. We know obviously how hot it is. Even with the adrenaline, the emotions of players, these first 10 or 15 minutes, you just have to ride it out, get your foot on the ball, have a bit of composure. The last thing that Birmingham are going to want is a Charlton delivery into their box.
Lucy Thomas, the Birmingham goalkeeper, is standing in shadow. Karen Moyer is standing 12 yards offside here, just trying to confuddle the Birmingham back line. The delivery is from Hutton, aimed high and flicked goalwards and claimed well by Thomas.
It's a decent delivery into the box, but from that distance, it's really hard to generate much power and trouble the goalkeeper in that situation.
Hutton snatches the ball from Louis and has been a persistent threat down the left-hand side, but isn't winning the corner on this occasion. Ball bouncing off McKenna and then out of play off Jodie Hutton. But already inside the first couple of minutes, Charlton looking to get on the front foot.
Yeah, and I think Charlton being the team that obviously have led for majority this season, you know, obviously they went 27 games unbeaten. You know, they're at home, they've got the crowd behind them. They want to make that statement. They want to start on the front foot. Obviously, they were disappointed last week not to get the win in the end, but it's about making a statement here today.
Crazy turn of events on the penultimate fixture. Up at the top of the table, Birmingham City knew that a win would all but seal promotion for them. At home against Ipswich, who were struggling down the bottom, beaten 3-0 on their own patch. They've given away possession here, and Fitzgerald is looking to run at the Birmingham back line. Spreads the play out to Newsham on the right, who is always happy to attack. Cuts the ball back. Moyer went for the back heel, and it still isn't cleared. Moyer in the middle. Charlton trying to create chances, and the bouncing ball fell at the boot of Thestrup, and she couldn't keep it down.
That's a brilliant start there from Charlton. I think Moyer there, I think she's trying to do it sort of a back heel, but just I don't know if she gets in there a little bit too early. Really brilliant down the right-hand side here. Yeah, I think she's just trying to be clever there, trying to go with a back heel. It gets fired back in again. Birmingham scrambling to get it free, and it just gets put over there, but it's a brilliant start from Charlton.
Well, Lucy Thomas's goal, leading a charmed existence in the first couple of minutes of this one. And Birmingham City yet to get firing, which was the situation last week against Ipswich. Within 15 minutes, they were 3-0 down, but here they come with their captain Cornet. Out to Lee Gun-min, two runners in the middle, and it's Alicia and Dow's defensive header that concedes Birmingham's first corner of the game.
And now you've got Birmingham coming down the other end as well. It's going to be important for defenders today to switch on, you know, try not to get caught ball watching, opening up. Birmingham had a couple of runners into the box there, but Ndow in a really good position there to head it away.
Promoted from this level with Aston Villa 6 years ago as captain of that team. How she would love to lead another team up into the top flight. Drilled flat corner towards the edge. Niamh Heron was on the end of it. Bradley got a boot to it first, and Bradley has won the free kick for Charlton.
Yeah, Bradley doing well there, because I'm not too sure how much she saw of Heron coming in on the left-hand side of her. But referee in a really good position there to see the connection and award Charlton with a free kick.
So lively opening, both sides having a sniff in the opposition territory. But it is Charlton who look like they're playing with freedom and confidence in the first couple of minutes. Fitzgerald just has the door slammed in her face by Lee. Dow tries to advance down the line, up from centre-back and winning the throw over in the shade in front of what looks like a really packed-out main stand. More than 3,000 tickets sold for this one. Charlton women's best home attendance since a top-flight game against Arsenal before the WSL was even a concept. Thestrup battling for the ball. Hurt with the attempted clearance, but it's gone straight up in the air, and Mia Gower won't thank her for that one. Mia Gower looks to shift the play. There has been a goal across South London. We're going to show you that goal any second now. It could have an impact on the title race. This is a Portsmouth corner. And it has gone straight in from the corner. I think it's Georgie Freeland, might be Meg Hornby on the in-swinger with the left foot, whipped it right into the opposite top corner. There is a spanner in the works of Crystal Palace. They need to win to be promoted today, and they are one down inside 10 minutes.
And that's as well, you look at it from Portsmouth, obviously the position that they're in, they're there, they can go and be a spoiler. They can go and create that upset, and that's exactly what they've done in that game so far.
It was Meg Hornby with the in-swinging left boot. Georgie Freeland has also scored direct from a corner for Portsmouth this season. That was actually against Charlton. And here's what it does to the standings. Nothing at the moment, because Palace are the team that are behind and need to battle. But it would mean if this game ended as a draw and Crystal Palace ended in defeat, then both these two sides would be promoted. There will be fans in the stands, Gilly, watching on YouTube, on their phones, and that message will transmit to the players. It always does.
Yeah, the players always find that. I mean, I remember I was at Chelsea and I had a bit of a top-of-the-table clash between us, Birmingham and Liverpool at the time. Is when we ended up losing 2-1 and Liverpool come above us and won because Birmingham lost as well. And you do find that, and it puts added pressure when it's not really ideal.
Just got to do your job. That was the message from both managers speaking to Brian Matuva pre-match as Charlton whipped the corner in. And Lee manages to get her boot to it first and then has a foot race with Karen Moyer. Does well to come away with it and shows good upper body strength as well to ride the challenge. Cross is low and easy for Thomas in the Birmingham goal.
Yeah, Moyer done really well there. Used her body brilliantly, and then it's a sloppy delivery into the box then. I think you just see from Moyer's reaction there, she's a little bit annoyed, and rightly so, that she's battled so hard to win it, and then it just is poorly given back to Birmingham.
Karen Hills has been promoted from this level before, in charge of Tottenham Hotspur in 2019. Spent 11 years in charge of Tottenham. The message from Amy Merricks is, we're going to block out all the noise today. Performance is the main thing. If we perform, everything else will take care of itself. It's been the message from Amy Merricks her entire 2 years in charge. Thestrup is putting pressure on Harris, and Harris's pass is coming up short to her goalkeeper. Good pressure from the Dane in attack. Hurt's been dispossessed by Newsham. Thestrup first time out to Moyer, and Charlton have bodies in the box. Sliding tackle is from Niamh Heron, and it's a corner to Charlton.
Yeah, sloppy from Birmingham there, playing out from the back. Charlton again just in really good positions on the front foot. And you'd think now Birmingham will probably be expecting that because it's how it's been for the first 9 minutes or so, but they're still sort of being on the reactive side of it from Charlton, being on the front foot, and rightly so, win themselves another corner.
They've had a good couple of practice runs at this. Hutton will take it with the left foot. Flat delivery, edge of the 6-yard area, and Dow is the first point of contact. And the ball flashes right across the face of goal. And the referee's given a corner here, so Endow's contact can't have been the last. Another corner for Charlton Athletic.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, the referee was pretty adamant with it. She must have seen a slight connection there after Endow's had that header.
You'd imagine the Charlton number 5 might well be the target again. The tallest player in that box, and it's deep. It's headed away by the Birmingham captain, Cornet. And Bathsheba Louis is battling away. The ball is coming back towards Birmingham City's goal again, and McKenna is having to work hard to try and keep it away from Newsham. The ball is out for a Charlton Athletic throw. Such a talent, Jodie Hutton, one player of the month earlier in the season. Real star of this Charlton sides. They've spread the goals around, haven't been as free-flowing in attack as Birmingham City. Hutton, one of 3 joint top scorers on 5 goals, along with Kenny, who's on the bench, and Fitzgerald, who's playing just in front of her down that left side today. Flannery's header straight back to McKenna. Crosthwaite has been quiet so far for the first 10 minutes or so. And this is how Birmingham like it. They like to get the ball down and play at their pace and dominate possession. They just haven't been able to do that so far in this game. And that's smart defending by the Charlton back line that has been so tight as 2 coats of paint all season.
Yeah, Birmingham not really been able to build up a successful amount of passes. They're able to really create anything at the moment. And I think that as soon as that long ball's looking like it's coming, Charlton backline doing really well by dropping off and reading it.
Nice work from Heron, who's moved out of defence into midfield here and having a go from range and drifting wide of Whitehouse's goal, who applauds her defence for limiting the damage to a shot from 30 yards. And let's take you back across South London again, because the goals are flying in. Meg Hornby gave Portsmouth an early lead. Crystal Palace, remember, will be promoted with a win. Blanchard with the ball into the box. So composed on the ball and cutting it back. And Molly May Sharp is pouncing on the loose ball and levelling it up for Crystal Palace. And so we are as we were at the beginning of the day, with Palace drawing and all square here. Charlton remain top and Birmingham remain second.
And I think that's the reaction that you would have wanted from Palace there, especially going 1-0 down, you know, trying to get the equaliser as soon as you possibly can. And like you're saying, it's about them taking control and doing what they need to do in their game, and then hoping that there'll be some sort of result in this game to help them get promoted.
I suppose the perfect jeopardy today for any neutral watching at home would be Crystal Palace win their game by a country margin, and this game is all square going into the final few minutes. That means that any of the 3 could be champions come full time. Martha Harris returned to the Birmingham starting team, lost her place to Hannah Silcock last week. Silcock took a blow to the head just before half-time, and Harris replaced her in the 3-0 defeat to Ipswich. Birmingham already 3-0 down when she came onto the field in that one. But she has seen and done it. Gilly, you'll have come up against Martha Harris many times.
Yeah, definitely come up against her. I think we've had some tasty battles, a few hefty challenges coming in. So yeah, she's an experienced player. She'll know exactly what is needed to go up, not only go up into WSL, but also stay up there as well. And a shout out to Hannah Silcock as well, who I was at when I was at Liverpool. You know, such a bright young talent, and obviously for her to be able to go and get some minutes as well is really, really important for her development.
Long ball forward is looking for Crosthwaite. Crosthwaite is beaten to the ball by Ellie Mason, who's happy to hook it into the stands. McKenna. Louis holds up the ball well. Haiti international. Cuts it back to Cornet, who shoots. Oh, was it a cross? Laidhammer almost got a big toe on the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it was a shot, it wasn't troubling really anyone. But if that is a cross, it's a brilliant spot there. And Laidhammer just pulling off the back shoulders of the defender. Someone's, I think, just putting it into a dangerous area there. But, yeah, Endow switched off there to Laidhammer's run.
Laidhammer burst onto the scene in the BWSL 2, scored 5 in her first 8 games. Those goals have dried up a little bit towards the end of the season, as Charlton and Thestrup win a free kick. And another opportunity for Hutton to send a testing pass into the Birmingham territory. Karen Hills is up out of her seat and getting vocal. Thestrup's won a couple of free kicks early in the game. She's proving herself to be a handful in attack for Charlton. Once again, Moya is standing in an offside position, just trying to confuse the Birmingham back line. Now she comes onside. The delivery is good, and it's a header straight across the face of goal.
And I think that's how they've set up, you know, it sort of looks like a training ground routine there. Moya obviously being the difficult one who's standing in the offside position there. But as you're seeing the balls come across, it's headed back across. I think they're expecting a runner there, because when you're looking at Moya's reaction as well, she's pointing to say, where are you? Why is no one there on the back post to get the receiving ball?
Ellie Mason's header scored a couple of goals in the international break last month, both against Malta for the Northern Ireland national team. She knows where the goal is. So too does Bradley, but she's been dispossessed by Cornet. Important challenge by the Blues skipper, but it's been given away again. Well, Gilly, I don't think they've taken on board the message that you said early in the game. When it's this hot, you just need to get into the game. It's being played at a quick pace.
Yeah, it really is, and I understand it, because both teams are probably going to try and want to get that early first goal, you know, sort of settle their nerves, get in the driving position. But it's not something that you're going to be able to do for the full 90 minutes or so, is to play at obviously a high intensity. So it's about managing the ball once you have got it, and obviously then trying to speed it up when you're in the right areas as such.
Free kick to Birmingham City. Hurt by name, hurt by nature. Looks a sore one. So goals going in across the country, yet to have one here. Ava Baker has opened the scoring for Ipswich as Birmingham send one looking for Laidhammer, and Whitehouse had to come and Whitehouse had to claim.
Yeah, dropped in a really dangerous area there, and you're just probably wanting a Birmingham player just to come round the back post there and sort of come in a little bit late, because Whitehouse really comes out from a distance from a goal. But yeah, they end up dealing with it really well.
The pitch looks a little dry to me, Gillius. A couple of times the bounce has just looked like it's held up upon landing. Maybe not as slick as it has been earlier in the season when there's been more rain around. Laidhammer is a real nuisance, just playing in that hole behind the striker. Quick, powerful, smart footballer as well. And a water break, essential water break in the heat. And so a chance for both coaches to bring their players in and deliver some instructions. They've seen 20 minutes of this must-win clash as Lucy Thomas is down receiving some treatment. And a chance for both Karen Hills and Amy Merricks to deliver their instructions, Gilly. Yeah,
I think, for me personally, I think Charlton have been the better team initially in these first 20 minutes or so. But again, it's about what you're doing with the ball, you know, and having that bit of care and bit of quality, especially in the final third. But I think it's essential to get in, like we're saying, it is hot out here today. You know, getting the players in, Do you carry on doing what you're doing, or is it time to now shake it up a little bit after obviously being 20 minutes into the game?
And Lucy Thomas being helped to her feet. Has jostled for the #1 jersey this season, Lucy Thomas, with Adriana Franch, who is out injured. Her backup today is the youngster Poppy Irvine, who was recalled from a loan at Cheltenham Town late in the season. Franch there was just sitting on the bench. There you go. Charlton haven't seen much of the ball, but that has mirrored the way they've played this season. Proof that possession is only 9/10 of the law. They don't need the ball to win games of football. But they have created more goal-scoring opportunities than Birmingham City, who all season have swarmed defences, and their blue flash attack has been such a problem for defences across WSL 2, but in the last couple of weeks, they've not quite been fit and firing.
And that's what I also think as well, is it doesn't matter how much possession you have of the ball if you're not able to create much with it. And obviously I think that's proven so far in this game, with Charlton having the least amount of possession but a lot more chances going forward.
McKenna's attempted pass in field is intercepted. Smart first touch from Mason, just to drag the ball into open space away from Louis. Dow takes the aerial route. Wonderful control from Heron. And Moya battling away with Cornet, and Birmingham come away with the ball with Hurt. And there's one for Louis to chase through the middle. Lobato coming across and dispossessing her. Not many breaks in play. When the ball is in play, it's contested all the way. No breathers being offered.
I think I'm interested to be looking at the midfield as well, because I just feel like Birmingham are just starting to turn it up a little bit and start to dominate in that midfield area in the battles, the 1v1s.
Charlotte Newsham played such an important role all season, but against Southampton, where they trailed in the game, she won a penalty late on. Emma Bissell scored it. It looked at that moment like Charlton were the champions-elect, but they conceded a 94th minute Southampton equaliser. Atlanta Primus with the goal. Trivia fans, who shaped the title? What a run that is from Hutton. The cross is just a little heavy. Moya's kept it in, and Moya has won a throw.
Yeah, she does brilliantly there, because the way that Hutton hit that ball into the box then, I thought he was going to run straight out of play, but Moya doing really well to keep it in.
Look at this, clean set of heels. See you later, Bex McKenna. Now, whistle has gone. Moya fouling Hurts, and defensive free kick to Birmingham City. So, a little bit of a breather for them. Lucy Thomas back on her feet after the early visit from the physio. She looks okay. Birmingham City have had real problems in the recent history against Charlton Athletic. Haven't won any of the last 7 meetings. Good chance to get forward though, and it's brilliantly saved from Oceane Hurt. Whitehouse diving to her right-hand side to keep the scores at 0-0.
Yeah, that's a top save there from Whitehouse. You're just seeing obviously the ball, and this is the thing with Birmingham, they have that intensity when they do get into the final third. Brilliant delivery into the box. Hurt coming off the back shoulder there, hits it first time. It's a good whip there. First time delivery, keeps it low, gets the power behind it, but Whitehouse doing brilliantly to get down.
There's Louis sending cross straight away, and Really good at first-time effort from the French starlet. Charlton have dealt with the first wave of danger from the corner. Out as far as Crosthwaite, who can dribble and run all day, as we've seen. Niamh Heron trying to maintain the attacking pressure for Birmingham City, but Harris has gone all the way back to McKenna, the deepest outfielder. Laidhammer. Crosthwaite continues to move. Brilliant debut season at Birmingham City. 8 goals in a good number of seasons with Durham. She's already got 8 for Birmingham. She's stepped it up. Cornet with disguise on the pass, looking for the run of Lee. Easy for Whitehouse.
Yeah, Cornet there probably didn't need to force that one. I mean, it's a really difficult ball to make. You have to hit that with a lot of precision, really, considering the amount of Charlton bodies that are in and around that pass.
First bit of real untidiness we've seen in the game. The big upfield punt from Ossian Hurt, but Cornet, the captain, gets her foot on the ball and brings it back under Birmingham's control. Heron with the crossfield attempt. That's well stepped in by Mason. Crosthwaite. Cornet showed too much of the ball to Thestrup. Now Hurt, over in that sliver of shade, has got round the back and gets the cross in, and Laidhammer has loaded Birmingham in front. Wonderfully worked goal from very little, Birmingham City. And they take the lead in the title race on the final day.
Yeah, you just seen obviously the last couple of moments or so, Birmingham are getting into the final third, more and more with these crosses coming in. Charlton switching off a little bit at the back post, and we've just seen it again, them completely switch off at the back post. Laidhammer's able to come in there with a really big header as well, and it's sloppy from Charlton because they had plenty of opportunities to clear their line. They don't clear their lines, and then they allow the delivery to come into the box completely unmarked and completely switch off.
The hammerhead, brilliant run from her outside Newsham and just sending it into an area, and Laidhammer simply too strong. Up she gets. Height helps, power, and the guided header into the top corner, bouncing the defender over. And Birmingham City, with that goal, are top of Barclays WSL 2.
It's a huge goal, but you're talking as well. Birmingham had a chance, obviously, just before that, with Hurt coming in at the other side of the box. Charlton not switching onto it, so you thought that would be a little bit of a warning for him. And you know, you got defenders there both pointing at each other to say, well, whose job was that to take? Laidhammer, whose responsibility was it? But it's a great header from at the back post, but Charlton need to expect a little bit better from him.
6th goal of this BWSL 2 season for Vilma Laidhammer. Signed in January from Norrköping, a Swedish club record sale, beating the money that Arsenal paid Hammarby for Kyra Cooney Cross. This is a second-tier team, remember. But what an impact she has had. Top scorers in the league have got 10. She's got 6, having started in January.
Yeah, it's incredible stats. This just offers another option as well for Birmingham.
And here they come again with Louis, who rides the challenge from Bradley. A fair challenge, says Sophie Dennington, and Hurt shooting from range and flashing it just past the upright. Yeah. They're growing into the game, Gilly.
They are, and Charlton looked a little bit shocked at the moment as well. And Birmingham, you just see a game of football, it's all about momentum. It's all about when you've got the momentum, what do you do with it? And you're seeing now Birmingham have the momentum. They've gone and got that goal, and now they're going to push for a second one, where Charlton, they're seeming to struggle just to hold onto the ball, get themselves composed again.
Well, the situation for both is pretty simple. If you win the game, you win the league. But for Birmingham, they know that if they draw, they may well miss out on automatic promotion. So for them, it's must win. For Charlton, they have almost a backstop. And I wonder how that impacts the psychology here as Louis is trying to find a yard of space and gets a shot away, and on the bounce, Whitehouse watches it closely into her hands.
Yeah, just talking about that point as well that you just made, obviously you don't want to think that Charlton at one point are being at all complacent, but you know, they do have that added protection there.
And Charlton, at the moment, have slipped to third, which is not automatic promotion. They would face Leicester City in a promotion relegation decider for the right to play in the top flight next season, as Sophie Dennington has awarded a free kick to Birmingham for Moyer's foul on Heron.
Yeah, I think from a Charlton point of view, you've been at the top for majority of the season to potentially end up finishing third. Yes, you've still got a hit, you've got the playoff, and obviously we know that whoever finishes there are going to be playing against Leicester. But it's disappointing for that, because obviously especially for Charlton, because you have rode the top and been consistent up there for majority of the season to then fall at the last hurdle as such. So they need a big remaining 15 minutes or so for this first half, and then a big second half as well.
Birmingham City, they love to lead, and when they do, they have a habit of increasing that lead, and Louis is a real danger, and it took two defenders to close her avenue to goal. Well, the Blues have their tails up. Important goal, huge goal in the title race. Birmingham want to be back amongst the elite. The league that Gilly Flaherty says is the best in the world. The league that we all think is the best in the world. Louis tries to nod the ball down to Laidhammer. It's just short of her. And Charlton clear their lines. 8 clean sheets for the season. Charlton are best in the league, but there won't be a 9th. Mia Gower with the crossfield attempt. Well controlled by Moyer, whose first thought is always forwards. A decent delivery over the top, and Thestrup contests the stride of Heron. Heron, Grace under pressure, has conceded a throw. Well, the crowd has fallen, not quite silent, but certainly been quietened by the Birmingham City goal, Gilly.
Yeah, and I think, listen, this Charlton being at home, obviously Birmingham have got fantastic support here as well, but Charlton being the home team, your fans can make such a huge difference. There's been plenty of games in my career where the fans have been the turning point for me in the games that we've played in. So Charlton are going to really want their fans to start riding up a little bit again and creating some noise.
Bradley back to Newsham. Decent cross onto the head of Fitzgerald, who got up above 2 defenders but couldn't keep the header down.
Yeah, it's a good reaction from Charlton, but I just think looking at the bodies in there, Fitzgerald's the only one in the box. You know, you got if you know that. Listen, obviously they're going to be aware that obviously if they don't win the game, there's a good chance they're going to be finishing in third. But you're losing 1-0. You have to put more than one body in that box there. Gamble a few more players. Someone coming around the back of the box. Someone coming on the edge. And just make that commitment.
Lucy Fitzgerald, targeting a 2nd straight promotion, was part of the London City Lionesses team that denied Birmingham last year, and here she is looking to deny them again. Hurt getting back, having set up the opening goal, contributing in defence as well. Free kick awarded for the chopping infraction on Laidhammer. And the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Well, Charlton came from behind last week. They were trailing against Southampton. Managed to get their noses in front in that one. Here's another look. Just a tangle of feet between Laidhammer and Newsham.
And just come back to the point that you made earlier on about the pitch. If I'm Karen, I'm going out there at half-time and saying, get the sprinklers on, get the water on, because you're just seeing, even then when Charlton tried to break, Moyer's passed the ball into the space. He's just holding up. It seems to really be slowing it down.
Yeah, so the dryness of the grass, not allowing the ball to move as freely as it would on a slicker surface. But either way, Birmingham City, thus far, have found the methodology to get themselves in front. Mason's header, Birmingham throw. Amy Merricks and her Birmingham team managed to get themselves to the top of BWSL 2 going into the penultimate game of the season. Huge win against Sunderland, reeled in Charlton, who've been the runaway leaders all season. And then they had that slip against Ipswich. I was commentating on that game, Gilly, jaw-dropping, didn't see it coming. 3 goals in the space of, I think, 9 minutes. Ipswich nailed their place in BWSL 2 for next season with that win as well. They're currently 1-0 up against Sunderland as well. What a brilliant end of the season after making David Wright their permanent manager. It's too long for Crosthwaite.
I say, but not many people expected that result from last weekend. So I think you're looking at Charlton being in pole position, obviously with the going 2-1 up against Southampton, to then concede late as well. It just brings it even more excitement that probably neither team really wanted coming into the final game of the season.
I wonder if either of those laptops or iPads have got the Palace game on. Hurt tries again to get him round the back of Nushin, but this time the first touch is just a tad loose. There's an urgency about Birmingham City. When they lose the ball, they want to win it back quick. Miyagawa, dancing feet, gets away from Ndao and then loses those dancing feet and wins a free kick.
There's a really dangerous position there. I mean, it's great feet for Miyagawa there, but a little bit sloppy from Ndao to jump in there. But it's a great position for Birmingham.
Clever play from the experienced Japan international. Signed in January from Hammarby. Another one of those clever mid-season signings from Birmingham City, along with Laidhammer, who's eyeing this one up from the free kick. And Hurt has gone away. It will be Laidhammer, who's already on the score sheet. Good delivery, and it's out off the crossbar and turned over by Bathsheba Louis. And look at the way that Charlton are celebrating the save of Whitehouse.
It's such an important stop there. You know, fingertips to push it onto the bar. You're just seeing the reactions as well there from the Charlton players. They know that's a huge stop. The last thing you want is it to be going 2-0.
Well, that could have been the title right there. Vilma's hammer. It's a great delivery. She just gets a flick to take it onto the crossbar. And should Louis have scored on the rebound?
I mean, I think she should. I mean, it's hard because I think she's in too quick. So as you can just see, she's stretching with that connection. If I think she held it a little bit and then she was stepping onto it, I think she would have put it away. But I think you can just see Louis' right leg's just outstretched, but it's sort of behind her. So there's only really one place that's going to go, and that's going to be up and over. But it's a huge stop there from Whitehouse.
4 goals for the season, Bathsheba Louis, but unable to add to it with the ball just behind her. But another great opportunity for Birmingham City. Now, what can Charlton fashion at the other end? Mentioned that their title charge has not been built around goal-scoring prowess. It's been around their defence, which has already been punctured. Here's Moya. Newsham up from the back, drilling the ball into the centre. Cleared only as far as Flannery. Helps the ball back in. Fitzgerald finds Moya. They've got a player open. Moya with the back heel, and it was the wrong option. And the whistle has gone for, I think, a foul on a Birmingham defender. May well be an offside from the back heel. But the fact that Sophie Dennington has a yellow card in her hand suggests that there was a late challenge that perhaps we didn't quite catch. Get confirmation of that yellow card as soon as we get it from our match manager at the game. We think it was Moya. In fact, it was Karen Moya for a late challenge after the ball had gone. So Charlton have 5 minutes until the break. Yellow card confirmation was for the Charlton number 16. So the feeling would be from everybody in that main stand, Gilly, that a goal would settle the nerves. They started well and they faded in this first half.
Yeah, they've just seemed to drop off. I think when that goal went in from Birmingham, they just sort of...
Hurt with another good delivery. Louis was the target, and it took 2 Charlton defenders to get the ball clear.
Yeah, I just think that they dropped off a bit. And I also don't think that they've been getting... Defensively, they've not been going to get no pressure on these crosses. They're just allowing, it seems like they're allowing the cross to come in the hope that they're going to then, the defenders in the box are going to deal with it. You need to stop the source. You need to stop the crosses coming in the first place. Don't allow it that we'll have them crosses coming in because we know our defenders are good enough to deal with it. It's just unwanted added pressure.
Crosthwaite battling for the ball with Hutton and just steps across the Charlton number 12. Referee put the whistle to her lips, but then allowed Charlton to play on. I don't think they would have been grateful for that, and then they get a foul that looked less of a foul than the previous one, but either way, they will have a defensive free kick.
I think this, for now, Charlton, I think it's just about steadying yourselves. The last thing you want is going in at half-time with the scoreline potentially being 2-0. It's an awful scoreline. Even if you're leading at 2-0, it's an awful scoreline to go into because you know then the next goal's always... It's going to be crucial, but you always expect the team that's losing to come out in the second half a completely different team, really. So, yeah, Charlton need it to stay either 1-0 or if they can try and get back into it, that'd be brilliant for them as well.
Birmingham City love to keep the ball as well. They will do all they can to keep it away from the red shirts today. Only Nottingham Forest have seen more possession across the season than Birmingham City. Forest are a terrific team to watch. They'll be playing in BWSL 2 again next season. Closing out the season at home to Southampton and currently 2-0 down Nottingham Forest. Play on, says referee Dennington. Birmingham rode a couple of challenges, and but for the interception of Newsham, might have well been on the attack again. Bradley rides the challenge, has support, gets herself into the box, and Cornet with solid strength sees the ball out and then motions to Bradley to get up and stop trying to win a penalty.
I think Bradley done really well there. I just think, for me, she should have released it after. When I think Hurt goes in to try and tackle her and she manages to stay on her feet, then the pass has to go wide. I think she tries to carry on too much. And then, yeah, I think she's then just clutching really at straws to try and get something for her team.
Has been impressive all season. Katie Bradley in that midfield with Kira Flannery, both of them so reliable. Harris, not the tallest, but getting up above Fitzgerald to win the header. Thestrup goes down, and Thestrup concedes the foul on McKenna, but the Charlton attacker has gone down clutching her right knee here. Never good when you see someone immediately go to their knee. Well, she would claim here that she was being held by Bex McKenna, and then she tangled the ball in her feet and she was penalised.
Yeah, I think the referee might argue that the reason for the free kick was because you see her hold the ball in between her feet there. But again, she's obviously feeling some discomfort from that. Could have been called earlier than that for a free kick potentially.
Well, this is not good for Charlton. Thestrup immediately felt her right knee when she went down. On a personal note, one of their star players, a Denmark international, but also, as things stand with the shape of it, Charlton are currently third and would have one very important fixture to come. So while she receives treatment just before the half-time break, an opportunity for a dress rehearsal of the half-time team talk from the two managers. What will be the messaging from Karen Hills, the Charlton boss? Because the team came out really well, but as we've said, they've faded towards half-time.
I'm pretty sure that Karen's got a game plan when it comes obviously into this, and would have probably been prepared what would be the conversation if we're leading, what will be the conversation obviously if we're drawing or if we're losing. So I think she'll be just saying to him, listen, there's still a lot of time left in this game, don't panic, but don't let yourself fall even greater behind. So it's about being on the front foot. I think how they started the game was brilliant, being on the front foot. I'd probably argue that maybe their distances between them are too big. I think the forwards go to press and the midfielders are nowhere near behind, like near them. And so then it's able then for Birmingham just to pick up those spaces. So, I mean, I'd personally say just get a lot closer together but continue to be on the front foot, because you caused Birmingham worry and panic when you did.
Well, she's made herself to the sidelines under her own steam, which is really good to see. 4 minutes are to be added on. Those 4 minutes won't start until play gets back underway here. Thumb up from the Denmark international to the referee, Sophie Dennington. So if the referee and the officials are keeping an eye on the clock, 4 minutes should really be 5 minutes. I'd expect us to play to 50 here, because we've lost a full minute at least there. So plenty of time for Charlton to find something, but at the same token, they want to keep it tight at the back. Won't want Birmingham to go in to having doubled their lead. And Dow goes down the line. Fitzgerald has had to switch wings, with Charlton temporarily down to 10. Goal kick.
I think you're seeing there, though, in Dow, she has to really put some weight behind that pass because of the fact that the pitch is holding things up a little bit, but then has put too much into it because it's ended up running out of play. But you can just see what players are trying to do.
Thestrup is back on. Good to see. The first 3 or 4 minutes, Lucy Thomas was one of the busiest players on the park, the Birmingham City goalkeeper, but for the last half an hour or so, she's been a more than happy bystander. Laidhammer's attempted flick was looking for Crosthwaite. High one for McKenna to deal with. Ball has stayed in. Flannery. First touch for Thestrup since she went down, but she's come back from an offside position. And Birmingham won't rush with the restart here.
I think for Birmingham, they know they'll be going into a half-time with a lead. They're in the strongest position, so you know you don't have to be running to get the ball. You can take your time with things and slow the clock down.
Well, Charlton, top of the league coming into the final day, failed to win any of their last 4, including an FA Cup defeat to Liverpool, who play a division above. So you can scratch that one off. But you do wonder, winning becomes a habit. Haven't won a game since beating Sunderland by 1-0 back in March. How easy is it to fall out of the habit? Fitzgerald continues to chase the loose ball. Harris helps it up towards Louis. And Hutton thumps the ball upfield, playing deeper than she would like to, Jodie Hutton. Much prefers it when she's able to get on the ball and run at defences. Being penned back by Lily Crosthwaite, who always plays so high up on this right-hand side. Here's Louis trying to get him round behind Lobato, and she's done that, finding Crosthwaite. And Lobato recovers with a challenge to concede a corner. Good defending.
Yeah, really good recovery there, because I think Lobato could have dealt with the first one initially. She tries to, I think, run it out of play. And Louis reads it really well and ends up winning that battle, but Lobato does really well to get back, get that all-important block in.
Lucia Lobato won the second tier in France last season, playing for Marseille. Has a bit of work to do to win it in England. Good delivery. Headed out, Niamh Herron helps it back and onto the roof of the goal. But another nervy moment at the back for Charlton as we go into added time at the end of added time.
Yeah, Birmingham do look strong as well when they're putting these deliveries into the box. They look like they are worrying Charlton a little bit. I just think for me it's Charlton with their defending. You know, you're looking at their majority of them players have dropped off. Birmingham then Herron has allowed that free header with no one really around her.
whistle blows at the Valley, and look at the Charlton players making a beeline for the tunnel, trying to maximise the 15 minutes that Karen Hills will have with them. They clearly feel that a team talk is needed. For Birmingham City, they have that 1-0 lead given to them by their gifted Swede, Vilmar Leidhammer, with a guided header into the top corner. And as the tunnel is pulled out and the players disappear at the Valley, the title decider is going to the team in second. Half-time, Charlton Athletic 0, Birmingham City 1. Of managers, it really does all come down to this for the next 45 minutes from Charlton Athletic, who have led all season and now have to come from behind if they are to wrestle that trophy away from Birmingham City. Underway for the second half, the final half of the BWSL 2 season. Charlton trailing Birmingham, and Birmingham, as things stand, are top of the table and on course to be BWSL 2 champions. Chris Latcham on the call. Gilly Flaherty is alongside me, and we will keep you right up to speed with all the key goings-on from Crystal Palace against Portsmouth, where if these two draw and Palace were to win, Palace would be champions. It's a biggie, Gilly.
It's huge, you know, and it's a huge 45 minutes as well. Obviously, Birmingham in pole position. But Charlton, you know, you're at home. You've got to show some fight to get back into the game. Obviously, it's been a great season for them, but you don't want to lose out on the last day of the season.
Leidhammer's header, that on second look or third look may well have been an own goal, but I don't think anyone's going to be taking that off the talented Swede, who is trying to get the ball in around the back of Ellie Mason, who's worked really well, the Northern Ireland international. Happy to concede the throw in there to get the ball away from the danger of the Birmingham City number 8. Amy Merricks is up and in the technical area. In the first half, she was sat on her seat looking at the iPad. I don't know that she'll leave that technical area for this second 45. As Lobato is looking to get the ball away from Louis. And there is a big moment coming from Crystal Palace, who are at home against Pompey in this one, and you can see they've taken the lead. Veerden has gone round the goalkeeper and put Crystal Palace into the lead, which will strengthen their claim for promotion. They know today, if they win, it doesn't matter what happens here, they will be certain to be promoted to the top flight. Hutton trying to get the ball in around the back of McKenna, concedes the throw. Bit more impetus about Charlton early in this second half. It does look like they've come out with a bit of urgency, Gilly. Yeah,
but they have to. Obviously, they're trailing 1-0. You know, they're fully aware. Listen, staff are fully aware of what's going on in the other game as well with Palace. So, you know, like Karen says, they have to take care of what they're doing. Same with Amy said exactly the same about Birmingham. Take care of yourselves. If you go and get the result, it doesn't matter what goes on in the other game. So, yeah, Charlton know that they need to get back into this.
Still will be a nervousness about Birmingham City, because with a 1-goal lead, if Charlton find the target, it changes everything. There's Karen Carney, a recent investor in her beloved Birmingham City. Absolute legend of not just the women's game, the sport of football. Karen Carney, crossover star. And what must it mean to the current crop to have someone with such a storied career here willing them on?
I also think it's really good for the club as a whole. You know, Karen has got a lot of experience in the women's game and knows just what it takes to excel and to win at the top level as well, and how the game's changing too. So, yeah, you'd be a sponge. I mean, I played with Karen at Chelsea and obviously with England as well. I was always a sponge around her because she's just so full of knowledge, and especially for the young kids. Obviously, she went blasted onto the scene at the age of like 15, 16, both for England and for club. So, yeah, it's great that she's able to go back into Birmingham as an investor and as someone with a lot of experience.
Karen up in the stands, Karen down in the technical area, and Karen Hills will have been drilling her team for the 15-minute break. And that's gone out for a throw to Birmingham City. Crossway, I think. Well, it looked like she was going to leave it for Miyagawa. Crossthwaite, one of those two players that we looked closely at before kick-off. long throws wasn't something I knew she had up her sleeve, and the header from Louis is straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Good delivery, and it's a delivery for Hutton to get on her bike. Foot race with McKenna, and she nudges McKenna into the ball, and it's given as a Birmingham throw, but the last touch for me was definitely off a blue shirt.
Yeah, I think obviously with Hutton, yes, I mean, it's a great delivery as well. Hutton there battling. I mean, there was definitely connection on the Birmingham player there to get that last touch.
Lung-busting run from Jodie Hutton. Good awareness from Sophie Whitehouse in goal as well to spot the early movement. So what has that goal done for the standings? Well, it's strengthened Crystal Palace. As I say, they know victory promotes them. Won't necessarily win the title, but definitely promotes them. And unless Charlton can find a goal, it'll be Birmingham going up with them. Here's Hurt, who delivered the cross for the only goal of the game. Scampering forward and skirting through two challenges and drawing the foul from Bradley. Brilliant work by the young French star.
Yeah, she managed to travel a big distance there with the ball under control as well. She's even having Charlton double up on her. She does really well there to win her side a free kick. You just seen, I think that touch across both defenders really
foul me or else.
Yeah, that takes them completely out of the game.
Very little that Bradley or Newsham could do other than bring down Oceane Hurt. Outswinging delivery. Crossthwaite is the nearest target in the box. And it's easy for Newsham to get a shin to it to get the ball away. Moyer's being pressured by the free kick taker. And Charlton have only cleared it as far as Harris, who possesses real skill for a centre-back. Hurt trying to use her pace to go round Moyer, but she's alert to the danger. France under-23 international, signed from Paris Saint-Germain. Real talent. One of an abundance of young talent in this Birmingham City team. Here's another one, Laidhammer. High cross is looking for Crossthwaite, might fall for Louis! And how important was the sliding challenge from Endow?
Yeah, that's a big block there, and obviously we spoke about Endow pre-game. You know, for me, she loves the 1v1 defending, the battle of it. Not a player who's not afraid to put her body on the line there. Louis on the turn there, you think she's going to rifle that home, but Endow does really well to get round, get recovery, and get the all-important blocking.
All-important block. Louis knows where the goal is, and Endow showing terrific defensive awareness. Hurt is racking up the steps today, running over to take every set piece. She'll deliver the corner. And there's a pause because Sophie Dennington is not happy with a bit of the jostling in the middle. Two big personalities, Lobato and Laidhammer, who are all smiles, but there's a ferocity to their contest. Delivery is looking for the head of Lee, might yet fall for Laidhammer, who steers it into the top corner. The Swede doubles up, and Birmingham can almost taste the title.
You're just seeing those celebrations roll there from Birmingham. You know, ecstatic. But I also think, though, he's poor defending from Charlton there. Really, really poor. And there's a reason why you're talking of, obviously, but with Charlton, they've been at the top of this league consistently. But the way the results have gone as of late, because defending hasn't been where it needs to be. No one ends up dealing with it at all. And then Laidhammer's in there, able to rifle it home. No one changes on the first one. Look how many bodies are in and around Laidhammer. You're talking, what, 7, 8 Charlton players all in and around there, including the goalkeeper. And not one person's able to actually get tight enough and don't allow her to turn and have that shot.
The tightest defence in the land has been punctured twice. Vilma Laidhammer gets the huge pat on the back from Lee Gun-min. Her 7th and perhaps most important goal of the season. Well, what can Charlton do? Loose ball fell at the boot of Moya, who couldn't get it under control, and Vilma Leidhammer's on a hat-trick. Hurt with the first timer, trying to pick out Louis, who's in round the back of Lobato. Charlton are on the ropes here. Louis, good defensive work. Flannery got the boot in, but Hertz won it back. Louis again, picks out a yard. Mia Gower gets the shot away, charged down. Still not cleared by Charlton. And now Endow steps in and says, if you won't deal with it, I will. Hutton can drive to safety, but there's nobody in front of her to pick up possession, and Birmingham will stride forward again.
Yeah, Charlton on the back foot here.
Really are on the back foot. Crosthwaite has 4 shirts to aim for. It fell to the boot of Leidhammer again, and it's loose, curling over the top from Lee Gun-min.
And the point I made in that first half is that no one from Charlton is getting close enough to stop the crosses coming in. You're talking Hurt on the left-hand side there has had plenty of chances as well. It's now happened on the right-hand side too. Charlton players just dropping off and off and off and allowing the balls to come into the box and then too far away when it comes to the second phase.
Big 5 minutes in the Barclays WSL 2. Birmingham doubling their lead, and Crystal Palace have doubled theirs. This is Lola Brown moving the ball forward from midfield. Chelsea youth picking out Veerden, who's already got 1, make that 2 for the afternoon. And Crystal Palace are heading for the win that would seal them a promotion to the top division. And Charlton, who started the day out in front, are currently on the outside looking in.
I mean, it's not ideal from a Charlton point of view as well, but for me, a change I think needs to happen on their right-hand side. With Hurt, obviously, for Birmingham on her left foot. She's causing so many problems in this wide area, and Charlton are just not able to deal with it at all.
Here's Moya, getting the ball back to Fitzgerald, just popped off her toe at the all-important moment. Leidhammer with her 8th goal of the season, her 7th in BWSL 2. Only Crosthwaite has scored more than her in the league, and remember, she's only played half a season here. Mid-season capture from Norrköping, and already looks like she's the kind of player that could make the step up to the big time. Here she is again. So much composure. Now Lee steps away from Flannery and wins the corner. No, she doesn't win the corner. Bounce back off the South Korean, who pleads with Sophie Dennington.
I thought initially the referee pointed to the corner flag, and then her sort of arm come back towards the goal kick.
It did look a bit like that from Sophie Dennington. Computer says no. Well, 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 Gilly, how about this from across South London? I told you earlier, Birmingham are champions if they win, unless Palace perhaps score 8 or 9. Well, here they come again. They found a 4th. Ball cut back to the edge of the box and drilled into the bottom corner by Kirsty Howard, who has scored good goals all season, and they lead by 4 goals to 1. So knowing that a win would take them up, I think the safe bet would be that Crystal Palace will be at least one of 2 teams going up from this division.
Yeah, I think you're right there, and I think, you know, they're in pole position as well. You're looking at, obviously, the state of their game too, being in that leading 4-1. Then it's probably in the back of their mind to say, listen, we can really get some numbers on here and really push it. Obviously, of course, you want to get promoted, but can you imagine if they ended up getting the result that ended up seeing them go up as champions instead? That would be incredible.
Especially if they won 10-1, which would get the job done. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to do that, but they've still got half an hour.
Anything can happen in the women's game.
Anything can happen, and Karen Hills will be hoping exactly that. Amy Merricks will be saying, look, guys, more of the same. What we have, we hold. Cameras getting right up close and personal with both technical areas. I wish we could have a microphone in there and just hear fly on the wall intel of what the 2 managers are guiding their players.
I mean, I'm not great at lip reading, but I did just see Karen just say, you've got so much time. So I think she's trying to say to them, they're going forward, they're rushing it. I still don't think they're putting enough bodies forward anyway on their attacks. But you just see it from there. She can see it as well. Take your time with it. You don't need to rush. There's still plenty of time left in the game to go and get the 2 goals that you need.
Niamh Herron is the player down, receiving treatment. Quick bit of magic spray on the ankle of Alicia Ndow. Maybe damaged it with that wonderful block that she made when it was still 1-0. That actually led to the corner that Birmingham scored their 2nd goal from. Herron has to leave the field because she's had treatment. Bit of an energy gel, all important on one of these scorching hot early May days. As we tick past the hour mark, Charlton have half an hour, or they risk the relegation promotion playoff. You thought this was a big decider. That will feel even bigger if they lose this one. Second chance on the 23rd of May against, we already know, Leicester City, who finished bottom of the pile in BWSL. Long ball forward is too long for Gillian Kenny, who's come on as a second-half substitute for Charlton. Flannery, high cross is too close to Thomas, but Thomas still had to claim it cleanly.
Yeah, a little bit different there from Charlton as well, with a long ball in behind, so then picking it up, then trying to get the delivery in back post. But Charlton need to start gambling as well, need to start chucking some players forward.
Just having a look at the league table, Crystal Palace would still need another 8 goals in the last half an hour. I'm not sure that's going to happen. There is the league table. 7 goals, I beg your pardon. My maths is terrible. Could happen. 11-1, that's the score they would need if this game stays the same. But for now, Charlton trail by 2-0 on their patch. Laidhammer has drifted out to this left side. Hurt looks like she's playing ever so slightly deeper in the field now. Less urgency to get forward. She's bought the foul from Ndow, though. And a yellow card is shown to the Charlton defender.
I think for me, this is just a silly challenge. And I think Hurt does really well to draw Ndow in, because you know she wants to commit because of the type of defender she is. But you've got 2 bodies there, 2 defenders as well behind you, backing you up. But now you're enabling Charlton, Birmingham, sorry, to put the ball into your box from a dangerous position again.
Confirmation of the yellow card for Alicia Ndow. Set pieces have been dangerous for Birmingham City, specifically crosses, and Whitehouse does well up above everybody. Bowls the ball overarm out to Newsham. Charlton haven't been able to link midfield to attack ever since pretty much a quarter of an hour into the game. Dominated the early exchanges, but then Birmingham got their foothold and they haven't looked back. Gillian Kenny, good control, and rolls McKenna, and McKenna will be booked. 2 hands around the waist of Kenny. Very little argument that the yellow card was coming out, and so now Charlton have a chance to send their big players forward.
Yeah, that's just silly again, though. McKenna, you've got players in and around you, defenders that will help you out. There's a good chance that the defenders are going to end up winning that ball, but now what you've done is you've just given Charlton now an opportunity to put the ball into your box from a really dangerous position. So now as Charlton, they have to make the most of these opportunities that come.
Kenny is starting to make her presence felt under that pink headband, wearing number 10, on for Amelie Thestrup at half-time. And once again, this technique of Moya standing in the goalkeeper's eye line, offside. She will now not be involved in the first point of contact, so she won't be ruled offside. Free kick is deep, too deep. Wasteful from Charlton.
Yeah, that's really, really poor. There what is that, 10, 15-yard ball into the box there, especially from a player like Hutton. You've got to be expecting a much better delivery there. Can't waste chances like that.
Gilly, what did I tell you? If Palace could find another 7 goals, then maybe, just maybe, they could wrestle the title from Birmingham. Here they are on the attack again. This is Blanchard springing the offside trap. Jasbal trying to get back, and Blanchard just rolling the ball past Gray. And Crystal Palace are 5-1 up. It is a promotion party for the Palace. Could it yet be a title party? "25 minutes to go." Charlton have rolled the dice at half-time with Kenny sent on. Have plenty more up their sleeve as well. Emma Bissell came on to score in the last 2 league games, both from penalties. Mary McAteer, Katie Lockwood, all available to Karen Hills. Could make a big difference going forward. A difference that they need.
Yeah, I think they do certainly need a little bit of a freshen up as well. I think there's not that much link up at all, I don't think, from defence to midfield to forwards. I think it's sort of been a long ball over the top, and then the hope that your forward player is going to pick it up and sort of create some bit of magic on their own. I don't really feel like there's been a lot of great build-up play from Charlton.
Hutton. Kenny's in front of her, onside, and Hutton's continued her run. Gillian Kenny tries to pick out the run of the wing-back, but played the ball behind her. So it's a reprieve for Birmingham. Well, there is set to be a player meet and greet at full time for Charlton Athletic. I wonder how that's going to feel if that comes after seeing Birmingham City lift the trophy on their pitch. Fitzgerald receives the short throw. Crossthwaite, too eager in her efforts to win the ball back. Free kick.
Yeah, Charlton here have to make the most of the opportunity and make sure they put a better ball into the box for this one.
Double substitution for the Alex. Would you please show your appreciation to Lucy Fitzgerald?
Substitutions are afoot.
And replacing Lucy, would you please welcome number 20, Mary McAteer.
And Mary McAteer is coming on for Lucy Fitzgerald. Kira Skeels, who has been the club captain, is coming on for Alicia and Dow. And that may well be because of the yellow card, but Skeels offers you an important presence at both ends of the field and could well come straight into the action here. High delivery, out comes Thomas. Very important clean claim over the head of Niamh Heron.
Yeah, important claim there from Thomas, but again, it's just poor delivery in from Charlton. You know, wasn't much pace at all on it, and you're hitting it right, really, on top of the goalkeeper there.
Well, the Birmingham fans have their eyes locked on their phone. They will be aware of the story developing elsewhere at the top of BWSL 2. Crystal Palace running away with it against Portsmouth, and they'll be doing their maths in their heads, no doubt. Lobato helps the ball up to the halfway line, but there's nobody there to receive it. McAteer is fouled by Heron. First involvement for Mary McAteer is to be buffeted to the turf. Skeels. Flannery with plenty on the pass to Hutton, who did well to control it, tries to stab it through to Kenny, and it's all the way through to Thomas in the Birmingham goal, who is in no rush to pick the ball up.
It's just been the final ball all of this game so far for Charlton. There's just been poor, really. Players on completely different wavelengths and not really troubling Birmingham at all.
Clearance upfield. Let's take you across South London once again, where a big win could yet seal the title for Palace. And Virden, who's already got 2 goals to her name, has the most assists in BWSL 2 this season, is continuing to be a threat down that left-hand side. Brown with the cross, and nodded in at the far post by Hughes, and it is 6-1 to Crystal Palace. 11-1. If it stayed the same here, would get them the title. Surely not. Surely not. So Birmingham maybe now realise maybe we could get a couple more. An insurance policy. Crosswaite's in round the back here, and the pass is just too fast for her. But the ball is not. She is rapid. And she's won a corner off Flannery.
Yeah, Charlton players not looking at all happy as well. Just seeing the space it opened up for her on that left-hand side there. And you're seeing what she's trying to do with the pass to Crosswaite. It just skips away from her there. But you're talking about the amount of Charlton players that are in and around that. And again, Hertz allowed the time and space to make that delivery. And then even then, the defender's not really dealing with Crosswaite at all.
It's been a good afternoon for Chelsea Cornet and her Blue Noses. Laidhammer is on the edge of the box. She will be very interested in the next couple of moments. 2 goals already. Hurt goes short. Louis tries to roll her defender. Back to Ossian Hurt, who's shooting, and it's flicked over the top by Skeels. Corner.
Yeah, Skeels does really well there to get that flick, but also to generate enough power that her flick don't have an oncoming Birmingham player to attack it. She gets enough to really flick it behind.
It's clever from Hurt. Gets around Moya. Skeels had to get something on it. Charlton feel a little flat inside the last 20 minutes of the season. Cross comes in. Laidhammer's head is this time wide of the goal.
Yeah, again, Laidhammer just allowed a free opportunity, really. Unmarked. Just wasn't able to direct it on target.
That's good work from Karen Moya, but she got around one challenge and then found Ossian Hurt in the way, and Niamh Heron has stayed down once again. So we'll take another look at the headed effort from Vilmar Laidhammer. Searching for a hat-trick, remember. It's put right on her head. Free header. Heron looks like she's in real discomfort here, and Laidhammer has made the signal that she might need a change. And so Bex Holloway is being readied straight away. She's been so classy at the heart of the Birmingham defence. Niamh Heron loves to step out of the back line into midfield. Holloway, for her part, is an absolute ball of energy. But it's the 2 goals of Vilmar Laidhammer that look like settling the BWSL 2 title. This was the decider.
Substitution for the Annex. Please show your appreciation. Number 12, Jodie Hutton.
Charlton are making another substitution. Jodie Hutton has gone off. You can see her just taking the high fives as she walks into the dugout. And on comes Emma Bissell, who scored a penalty with her first touch off the bench against Southampton last week. Certainly does look a sore one for Niamh Heron. The signal's already been made that she needs to come off. She'll be disappointed if she can't see out the game. But for now, the change has been made. I can see Bex Holloway. No, I can't. That's Chelsea Cornet. Ignore me. Birmingham still await to make their change. So for now, they're down to 10. Keep the ball, don't give Charlton a sniff. Hurt sends it forward, looking for Louis. And Cornet, the captain, thunders the ball forward for Louis to chase. Crosthwaite's got it back, and Crosthwaite will always look to test the fullback. And she's got round Gillian Kenny, and she's got her head up and almost picked out Bathsheba Louis in the middle. Mason with the last touch, corner.
Yeah, Birmingham continuing to cause Charlton a lot of problems in the wide areas there.
This is so exciting to watch. Been enjoying it all season. The way that she shifts her weight and then says goodbye to the defender. Birmingham will be desperate to keep hold of Lily Crosthwaite if, as it looks increasingly likely, they are to be playing top-flight football next season. Another corner to Birmingham. Laidhammer scored their second from a corner. She scored their first from a cross, both from the boot of that player there. Hertz had a good game.
And replacing number 7.
And here is that substitute that I gave you the tease of a couple of moments ago. Niamh Heron hasn't been on the field. She was injured and went off. So Rebecca Holloway is on, and so too Lee Gun Min is going off as the corner comes in, headed away by Newsham. And Hannah Silcock has come on to add her young nous at the back on loan from Liverpool. Here's Crosthwaite trying to get round Bradley. Good strength by the Charlton number 7. Excellent defending.
Yeah, really good strength there to see the ball out of play, and not really something that Charlton have really shown in this game, in all honesty, in regards to that strength and the 1v1 battles.
Well, if you draw up a mini table, just the top 3 and just the matches between the top 3, Charlton, Birmingham, Crystal Palace coming into this game. Crystal Palace had played 4 and won 3. They were the best of them, as the yellow card is flashed by Sophie Dennington. Chelsea Cornet is going into the referee's notebook. Yeah, so in that mini-league, Crystal Palace had the best of it, the games against the other teams in the top 3. Birmingham City had played 3, 2 against Palace, 1 against Charlton, lost them all. But they're winning the important one, as Bradley can't quite get the shot onto her boot and shins it out for a goal kick.
I mean, the cross at first, I did think it's a long way out there. She still had plenty of space to drive into, but decides to take the cross early, and then Charlton look like they're going to get across and make the connection. But they've really got to try and go for it. They need to find 2 goals from somewhere.
And they are running out of time. And Katie Bradley is better than that. But it has been a long season, a draining season for both mind and body. And Charlton are really up against it. Louis has won the ball cleanly, says the referee, although player is left in a heap, and Louis is in round the back. Charlton will be furious if this leads to a goal. And Skeels hammers the ball away off Louis for a goal kick. Just a clarification, the yellow card was shown to Asato Miyagawa, not to Chelsea Cornet a few moments ago. Kira Flannery's back on her feet. It looked to me like Louis caught Flannery on the way through, but Sophie Dennington said play on. Flannery certainly felt it. It's this moment here as she just comes around the back, just clips her ankle. Charlton would have been furious had that led to a goal. Bissell tries to keep it going. Cornet is caught in possession and then recovers well. Excellent work from the Blues captain. Won 3 titles in her time in Scotland with Rangers. And as captain today, she could well be set to lift a trophy. And once again, Sinead Hopcroft in the midfield. Just a bit of a tidy up on a substitution. Legan Min went off. It's Sinead Hopcroft who came on for her rather than Hannah Silcock. So the defence is still the same as Mia Gower comes across and lifts the ball away from Mason. Crossthwaite sends the ball up to halfway. But Sheba Louis has somehow won the throw. Really good work by the Haiti international in attack. Just taking valuable seconds out of the game, Gilly.
Yeah, and I think that's what Birmingham will try to do now, is obviously when we see it in the first half, the last few minutes or so, coming up to half-time, those slowing down when the ball goes off the pitch. You know, that game management side of things, I love it as a player, only when I'm winning though.
Karen Hills will not love it right now. Into the last 10 minutes of the season. A season that Charlton have been the dominant force. Got themselves in front off the back of a 27-game unbeaten run that stretched into last season. More than a year without defeat, but that came tumbling down with perhaps the most shock defeat of the season. They were beaten by Portsmouth, bottom of the table. And from that point on, they've not managed to find the formula with any regularity. Amy Merrick's Birmingham City have made hard yakka of it too. Both these sides looked certain for promotion with weeks left in the season, and here we are on the final day. And at kickoff, neither of them were guaranteed. Hurt gets in round the back, takes the ball off Newsham. The referee had a close look at it. And, well, Newsham felt the contact from Hurt in defence and is in real pain. And my first thought was, is there going to be a look at a penalty here? But play was allowed to continue. Let's have another look at this, Gilly. Talk us through it, because I think there's contact between Hurt and Newsham.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's her right. If you're looking at her right leg, I think as she comes across, I think Newsham to make the cross, I think you can just see it bends out a little bit. But I think initially, I mean, obviously she looked to be in a lot of discomfort, but it's hard when you're trying to watch what part of body she's hurt as well as where Hurt's made that contact.
I think, to be fair to Oceane Hurt as well, it was a football incident rather than a foul. They both got to the ball at the same time, but maybe just as Newsham planted her feet, landed just a little bit awkwardly, and those ones are always ever so slightly more worrying, Gilly. If that was shin-on-shin contact, you go, it'll bruise up, it'll be fine, but when the injury comes from just planting your feet, that's when you get concerned.
Yeah, and I think you can tell from players' reactions as well. You know, and I just think there's an automatic worry when a player holds their knee too. But I think when you're able to look at that replay, when she does go to make that crossing on her, if you're looking at her right leg, it sort of bows out a little bit. But I think she has got her foot planted into the ground as it happens. So it's never nice, obviously, to see a player in discomfort the way she is. Yeah,
substitution is being prepared because Charlotte Newsham looks in no fit state to continue. Real shame. Real talent. Former Scotland under-23 international. Arsenal youth. And there's real concern on the face of everyone connected to Charlton Athletic, who may well be aware as the minutes fade away and they realise the score at Palace and the score here. OK, it might not be automatic promotion. We'll have to go again in 3 weeks' time. But also they'll be thinking we really want to be at full strength, and seeing the stretcher go past behind Karen Hills is a really concerning sight. So as Karen Hills brings her players in, it's a power play for them. They've got 7 minutes plus injury time, and they are outside the automatic promotion places.
I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't really seen, I think the first 10, 15 minutes or so, Charlton, that's when they probably look their best. I haven't seen enough from them in the remaining minutes of this game to think, you know what, I think Charlton can go on and nick 2 goals in the remaining stage of this game.
Well, Newsham is up, which is really encouraging to see. The player they all call Noosh. But she looks pretty unsteady. And so while she makes the slow trudge off the field, Katie Lockwood is coming on. So naturally a more attacking player. That does look like a bad one for Charlotte Newsham, the jarring of the knee. She's clearly very upset that her season is coming to an end like this. We hope to see her again if Charlton do have to play in the relegation promotion playoff in 3 weeks' time, which interestingly, Gilly, will be played at the WSL 2 side's home ground. So if that's Charlton, that game will be played here at the Valley rather than at Leicester's base.
Yeah, no, hopefully, if it is Charlton in that position, then you'd be hoping that they're going to get another crowd, a decent crowd as well, to get behind them.
Lockwood with the low cross in, and Thomas, who hasn't been the most active goalkeeper in this game, is live to the threat.
Yeah, again, Charlton doing enough to win the ball and put it in, but it's just, they're just hopeful balls going in there. There's not really any clear runners making that run.
Crossthwaite, open grass to move into, even though she's got a trail of red shirts behind her. Might fall for Laidhammer, important challenge by Skeels. Once again, Charlton win the ball back, but then can't pick out a red shirt. It is their throw on the halfway line. Well, there you go. There is a match that has completely swung from the first 15 minutes, where Charlton started dominant and Birmingham, once they got in front, they have never looked back. And now they'll be thinking clean sheet win. Wouldn't that be nice? Take all the jeopardy, all the fear out of it. Reminder, if Charlton got one, then the nerves swing the other way, because a 2-2 draw would promote Charlton, not Birmingham. And Palace would be champions if that were to happen. Louise won the throw for Birmingham City. Rebecca McKenna will take it right in front of the Charlton dugout, where Newsham has just sat down after her long trudge around the perimeter of the pitch. And now Hurt has stayed down, feeling the back of her calf muscle from the challenge from Lockwood, and the cynic in me, Gilly, suggests that this might be a little bit of that game management you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously Hurt is the one who makes the challenge anyway, and then ends up taking out Lockwood in the process, but no one can test to see if you're pulling someone else's leg when it comes to cramp.
Someone made the point to me that the last time football had one of these winner-takes-it-all was the men's National League final last week. I don't know if you saw that, between York City and Rochdale, where Rochdale scored what they thought was a title-winning promotion goal-scoring winner. Invasion on the pitch from their fans, and then in the added time from that, York City scored the goal to deny them.
Yeah, and I think that's the heartbreaking thing there as well, is that obviously both of them got over 100 points in the league, and there's only one place. And I think that's what I said a couple of weeks ago, that I think the good thing is that all of them, Charlton, Birmingham and Palace, have all had a brilliant season in regards to the points. They've pulled a nice gap away from the 4th place. So it would be really disheartening if the 3rd place team, after all this, didn't have another chance of going up.
Just ask Birmingham City. This time last year, final day of the season, they played London City Lionesses. Winner takes all promotion. There was only one team go up. Team in second stays down. And it ended in a draw, and London City found their way to the top division, and they have not looked back. That's where Birmingham want to be. Mason driving one from range and fizzing past wide of the goal, but where's that been for the past 70 minutes? Just an effort on goal.
I mean, it weren't too bad of an effort there as well. The power and the pace that she gets behind it, but yeah, it's been a disappointing game for Charlton. I think Birmingham have come and done what they've needed to do. And I think probably Birmingham are unfortunate, really, not to have a few more goals added on to the tally too. But yeah, it's just been a disappointing afternoon for Charlton.
Certainly has been very little for this packed crowd, a record crowd for the last 20 years at home for Charlton Athletic women. Very little for them to sing about on this final day. Birmingham City, the great entertainers, have stifled them and scuppered their promotion party. And there is Exhibit A, Hopcroft and Harris high-fiving. Hurting Hills, all the H's, as Birmingham City are within 20 seconds plus stoppages of being crowned BWSL 2 champions. The 90 is gone. Well, Gilly Flaherty. 13 minutes. That's a third of a half.
Well, if you ever needed a little bit of hope, if you're a Charlton fan and player, no, seeing that come up on the board.
And all of a sudden, the crowd have got their tails up. The Birmingham fans in that corner that we can see are roaring Lily Crossway on, but perhaps the Charlton fans think, we haven't had a sniff all game, but maybe in 13 minutes we can fashion something. 13 minutes, you just don't see it, but you do on the final day in BWSL 2. Harris sends one over the top looking for Laidhammer, who knew she was offside, so couldn't chase down the through ball. And look at the urgency from Whitehouse and Charlton, but they are denied and checked by the fact that the substitutes board is going up. And this is an attack-minded substitution here. Vetri Kisari is coming on for the 2-goal hero, Vilmar Laidhammer. Terrific final performance of the season for the Swedes. Big high five for the coach. And Shannon Cook is coming on at the back. And Ossian Hurt has gone off, so goal scorer and assister for both goals have been replaced. And I think, I'll hand it to you, Gilly, for who you would say is the player of the match, but you've got one player who scored 2 goals and another who's created them both.
And it's a shame, really, you can't split it because both of them have been brilliant. I do think Hurt has caused so many problems on that left-hand side as well, but Laidhammer could have potentially had a hat-trick too, so it's been a brilliant game for the pair of them.
Certainly has. 2 players that when they signed for Birmingham City, you think that would have been with one eye on playing against Manchester City, Arsenal, Chelsea within a season's time. And it looks like that is going to play out. Holloway with the long throw. Hopcroft wins it. And gets it back after the loose touch from Sarri. Louis keeps it in on that dry surface that wasn't watered at half-time. Louis wins a corner off Flannery, who looks like she's limping heavily, Kira Flannery. She took a tackle from Bathsheba Louis halfway through the second half and looks like she's still feeling the weight of it. Still 10 minutes to play, at least. 13 added on. We will pass the 100-minute mark. First corner not taken by the talented boots of Ossian Hurt. It's whipped in high and deep and headed away by Lobato. Mia Gower tries to help it back goalwards. And Kenny clears the danger. This will suit Birmingham. 40 yards out from Charlton's goal is good. Take your time over the throw-ins. Eke out the seconds. Niamh Heron substituted in the second half. Still standing, still kicking every ball. Good defending by Kira Skeels, who is in a hurry to get the ball back underway.
And she's done really well as well, Skeels, since she come on. She's bolstered things up a little bit in the defence as well, but just sort of had a bit of an urgency when in possession.
Great touch from Vetri Kisari, who found green grass to move into. And he's just happy to run anywhere until the challenge comes in. Keep the ball, keep the ball, keep right on. Shannon Cook, first involvement for the late substitute, loves a long ball, and that one is, well, not the worst, but I wonder if 95th minute of the final game of the season, Lily Crosswaite has finally run out of gas.
Yeah. Probably not the best time to be doing the long ball over the top there when you've got a player who's run as much as what she has done in this game.
She's got some engine on her, Lily Crosswaite, but there is a global shortage, you know. Harris with the header. Kenny sends it back towards Bissell. Bradley, smart turn. Now McAteer has shirts in front of her, which we haven't been able to say in this second half, but with those shirts in front of her, she's unable to pick out Lockwood on the right-hand side.
And you know, it's hard because people could be looking at that and be thinking, oh, do you know what, that's happened just because Charlton are really pushing to get a goal. But that's been the story really of Charlton throughout this game, is that it's just been the lack of quality in the final third when it comes to those decision-making.
Skeel's head straight up in the air. Mason flicks it down the line. It's out for a throw into Charlton as we take you back to South London. Crystal Palace corner, 6-1 up. Clean take by Jess Gray, the Pompey goalkeeper, and there is full time, and the celebrations at the VBS Community Stadium are because Joe Potter's Crystal Palace have confirmed their promotion. They are guaranteed to be up with their win. All that is left to confirm now is who will be champions. Look at the emotion on the face of Joe Potter and everybody connected to Birmingham City. Huge moment for that football club, bouncing back at the very first opportunity. Relegated last season and promoted just 12 months later. And if this one stays as it is, they will go up in second and Birmingham will be the BWSL 2 champions.
And it'd be interesting as well to see how Palace get on in the WSL as well, because of the fact that they obviously got relegated. What have they learned from being up there in that season to then get relegated, to come back up again? Will they change anything?
Also, for someone who's followed this league from start to finish, players like Veerden, Annabelle Blanchard, Larkin, such talent. How do they carry that up the divisions? As Sarri wins a corner for Birmingham City. And look at Whitehouse, the goalkeeper, sprinting to the corner, trying to hurry up Birmingham.
She has to do that though, doesn't she? Because she knows that Birmingham are going to be walking.
You can't hurry up Sinead Hopcroft, who, I'll remind you, is a second half substitute, but looks like she's already run a marathon. Just skulking across to take it. How about this from the captain? There's the touch map from Chelsea Cornet, popping up right back, left back, in attack. Always available for the pop pass and trying to keep her team ticking over. And they are ticking towards the title. It's another corner. No, it isn't. Still 5 minutes to play. I repeat, if Charlton could find a goal now, then there's real doubt and jeopardy. But every minute that ticks by, every time Bex Holloway can see the ball out for a throw-in, precious blue nose seconds are drip, drip, dripping away. Bartow goes home. It's the quickest route forward. Go backwards, allow Whitehouse to smash it upfield. It's got to be a red head. Moya's done well. She's picked out Lockwood. Bissell's inside. Good cross. It's just too high for McAteer. Might yet come for Bradley. Mason, I beg your pardon. Mason whips it goalwards, and Thomas manages to wrestle the ball and keep it inside the confines of the playing surface.
Yeah, again, Charlton getting that opportunity. Obviously, more bodies have gone forward now because they know they need to gamble, but Birmingham doing really well to defend and make it really difficult, and you still got the amount of bodies that Birmingham have got in and around.
So Crystal Palace are promoted, and Birmingham City fans, to a man and a woman and a child, out of their seats to applaud the substitution. Bathsheba Louis might not have scored today, but she has ploughed a furrow in attack, kept the defence busy. Lucy Quinn is coming on, calls herself the impact sub. 90-minute heart, 50-minute lungs. That's her words, not mine. And her mission is go out there and for the final few minutes, help the team keep it tight. Here comes McAteer. Mason is charged down by Cook, and Mason has slumped on the deck. And it could still come again with Flannery. Lovely roll of the studs over the ball away from the challenge of Mia Gower. It's a free kick to Charlton.
Yeah, really good feet there from Flannery as well. I think she felt that she missed out on that first one, manages to pick herself back up again. I think she does a little roll over the top.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful bit of skill.
She's walking like the Tin Man as well out there. She has been in the wars today, Kira Flannery. Putting it all on the line for a team, and they have to. I'll say it again. Into the last 2 minutes, if we are to play the 13 as promised. A goal here gives us a nervy finale. Katie Bradley's over it. Flannery is square to her, but doesn't look like she wants it. Bradley shoots. It's a good save from Thomas that needed making. A late season save that could well be as important as either of Laidhammer's goals.
Yeah, and Thomas does really well there because she gets down, but she parries it away from the goal, away from any oncoming traffic.
Now or never for Charlton Athletic. The flick on is spilled by Thomas, and out for a corner kick to Charlton. Crystal Palace are continuing to celebrate. They've done their job. Promotion is sealed to Barclays WSL. Here's another look at the free kick. Really good save down to the right. Bradley has to find a Charlton head. There's enough of them in there. Goalkeeper's up. And it's cleared away by Hopcroft, who was walking slowly to take the corner and now sprints to the loose ball. Sophie Whitehouse, the goalkeeper, is scampering back, but Hopcroft won't be in a hurry to get back to her feet.
Yeah, she does really well there. She has a burst of pace and just does really well to hold the ball up, draw the foul from Charlton.
The chants you can hear from the stands are coming from those in blue. Amy Merrick's Birmingham City are into the final few seconds of what will be a title-winning campaign. Charlton fans are starting to leave. In the corner's good. That's like a rugby union kick. One bounce into touch. Absolute perfection. Look at those Birmingham fans in the corner. They know the job is done. Cook hammers it out over the head of all of those in the Birmingham dugout. And Charlton can hurry all they want, but time is against them. The clock has beaten them. Birmingham have beaten them for the first time in 7 meetings. Birmingham City have had a rotten run against the Addicts. As Kenny draws the foul from Cook, and a late season yellow card for the substitute. Painful one for the American. Does well here, Kenny, to whip the ball off the toe of Cook and then gets a knee to the knee. They are really sore. And still the Birmingham fans are serenading their team. Sophie Whitehouse has come up for the set piece again. Bissell was the first head to it. Birmingham City are the champions. Vilma Leidhammer's 2 goals have proved the difference in this decisive final match title contender. Amy Merricks falls into the arms of her coaching staff. 2 years she's been at the wheel. And Birmingham fans, young and old, can celebrate. It's commiserations for Karen Hills, and for Charlton, her team will have to go again, raise themselves for the playoff. But look at Amy Merricks thumping her chest, Gilly Flaherty, because her team are back in the big time.
And obviously having to come off of the defeat, obviously, or missing out last year, obviously up against London Sea, to have that heartache, to have that pain, and then to come into this season and go, listen, we're going to make sure that we don't fall short again, that we don't rely on potentially missing out. You know, they've had a bit of ups and downs. Obviously, that result last week that could have potentially put a spanner in the works, but to come away from home to Charlton, well, you know, it's a cup final basically as well. You're both trying to fight for the same thing, and to come up top trumps, you can see the emotion from her, the emotion from the players as well, and it's great for Birmingham.
To the victors, the spoils. Vilma Leidhammer, what a mid-season signing she has been. Handshakes for the officials from Karen Hills, whose team have been the front runners all the way through this BWSL 2 season. Their magnificent engine started spluttering late in the season. They were reeled in, and they have been toppled on the final day. It's tears for the red half of the stadium. Absolute devastation for Kira Skeels, who battled back from injury to help with the final season push. But the celebrations belong to those clad in blue and the many hundreds that followed them to South London today. KRO, keep right on. That's the message from everybody connected to Birmingham City, and they have kept right on, right up to the final kick of the season. Oh, magnificent scenes of celebration. Charlton Athletic was so proud of the number of tickets sold. Birmingham City should be proud of the amount of fans that travelled to watch them. From the West Midlands to the south of London, hundreds of them in the stands. Their banners there with the KRO slogan. On the phone to family members, I was there. And for them, the Charlton fans in the stands, still applauding their team in their endeavours for the season. They'll get one more look at them. May the 23rd, the relegation promotion playoff. But Ossian Hurt, one of the stars of the show today, laid on both goals for the imperious Leidhammer. And while the celebrations continue, let's get the first word with the 2-goal hero. Here is the Swede, Vilma Leidhammer.
You're champions of WSL 2. How does it feel?
Unbelievable. I can't put this into words. I'm so happy right now, so happy.
You put in a great performance, 2 goals. What a time to get them as well.
Yeah, 100%. We've been waiting for a performance like this. We really fought as a team today, both first and second half, so I'm really proud of the girls over there.
You joined in January, had a stellar impact. Talk to us about the team spirit in the side.
Yeah, it's so easy for me as a new player to come into this squad. There are a bunch of absolutely fantastic girls and staff, and everyone around the club has just helped me a lot, so I'm very happy here.
WSL football next season, what are you most looking forward to next year?
I just want to play in the highest division. I get play against the best teams in the world, and we'll manage to get there.
Congratulations, go and celebrate.
Thank you so much.
I expect those celebrations to go on and on and on. There's a classic old Birmingham City shirt on the left of the screen. That's going all the way back to the early 90s when those two young'uns weren't even born. Painful, painful post-mortem from Karen Hills. All eyes on the coach, who will need her team to go back to the well one more time this season. They still have the back door. They still have the playoff. But Birmingham City won't need it. There's confidence, the confidence of youth. Champs 26. They already had the shirt printed. Get it signed, get it framed on your bedroom wall. What a memory for that young'un. So we've heard from the match winner. Let's hear from the winning manager. Amy Merrick said, so long as we do us, we look after our performance, everything else will look after itself. She was true to her word. Here is the Birmingham boss.
Amy, champions of the WSL2, how does it feel?
Amazing, amazing. I'm speechless. I don't know, I just had a feeling. I know my team has bounced back every time. I'm so proud of them today. They were so good today. This is a tough place to come, so good. I have to credit Charlton. I think they've had a fantastic season.
And what a special group of players you've got here. A fantastic performance, like you said. And how great are you for the team, the staff, the supporters, and everyone else?
Honestly, so grateful. This group is incredible, and we're going to enjoy every moment of this because this is exactly what we deserved last year. We didn't get it, and they came back stronger.
Congratulations. Go and enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
Wow, that was powerful from the Birmingham City head coach. An important message. If at first you don't succeed, Gilly Flaherty, try and try again.
Yeah, and listen, I think obviously Birmingham, they've been in the WSL for many years. It was at the top of the game at one point, you know, playing in the Champions League. So they've got that experience and they've got the quality. And sometimes having that heartache the year before, it inspires you and it drives you on. That until you experience it, you can't explain it. Do you know what I mean? And that would have always been in the back of their minds. And it could have happened again, but they made sure that they'd done it, they learned from it, and they got it over the line today.
Founder members of the Barclays Women's Super League way back in 2010. Birmingham City are heading back to the big time. Amy Merrick's mentioned how they lost out to London City Lionesses on the final day last season. They drew their final 2 games, very costly. And that is the pain that is being suffered by Charlton Athletic, who failed to win each of their last 4 games this season. 3 defeats and a draw, 1 point from a possible 12. And it opened the door just wide enough for Birmingham City to kick it in and snatch the trophy, not just from under their nose, but on their own turf. The shiny trophy is on its plinth, and the ribbons are Birmingham City blue. The white gloves on, because you're not allowed to touch it unless you've won it. And Birmingham City, in just a few short minutes, will be touching it as champions. The valley is not a happy valley for Charlton Athletic and their fans today. Hope Powell, technical director at Birmingham City, and has been for the last couple of years. What a wealth of knowledge she has brought, and added that knowledge to this really impressive club that has brought in Amy Merrick's, brought in good ideas there. They come now under the same ownership as the men's team. There's good money there. Tom Brady is on board. We saw Karen Carney in the stands earlier. This is a club that is doing things in the right way.
Yeah, they most certainly are, and I think listen, Hope Powell has been at the top end of the game for many, many years, and obviously has experienced a lot and knows what it takes and what's needed. And I think she really believes in female coaches as well, young coaches, in regards to looking at the backing that Amy Merrick's has had. And I think the support from the club in general, the money that they've spent, it's exciting for Birmingham, I think, to be going up into the top league and being able to finally have that backing and really, hopefully for them, draw some really attractive players as well.
They already brought some in. Asata Miyagawa signed mid-season. Laidhammer scored the goals today, signed in mid-season. Big hug between match winner and coach. Lotta Lindstrom there, didn't get on the field today, but she was signed in mid-season, added really important goals after the mid-season break. And Beatrice Sarri as well. What a big signing she was this time last season when she came from Everton, having been playing in the top tier, happy to drop down because the long-term goal was to get back there. But she's done just that the first time of asking. Not a bad city to have a post-season party in London. I imagine they won't be on the first coach back to Birmingham. So the plinth is ready. The stage is set. The sponsors' boards are out. But it is not the result that the home team and this stadium were hoping for. The away team, who have failed to beat Charlton in the previous 7 meetings, have done it when it matters the most, when the prize is at its very richest. So all the cameras now trained on the plinth, and Birmingham will start their walk. Lucy Quinn, second half substitute. Niamh Heron went off injured. Here they come, almost to a player, having flip reversed their shirts, so it reads Champions 2026. Vilma Lanehammer's on the FaceTime. Video call to somebody. You'll never guess what I've just done. Shannon Cook came on, second half. Brilliant all season. Beatrice Sarri has played in the top division. Mum, I'm going back there. How important Lee Min has been as well. Century of international caps, but days like this will mean so much to her. Lucy Thomas has a nice moment with the other goalkeeper, Adriana Franch, who played half the season. The two of them exchanging the gloves in mid-season. Thomas ending the season because Franch not fully fit to compete. And Poppy Irvine, how about that? 19 years old. The sub-goalkeeper gets a medal. Lily Crosthwaite may well be their player of the season. What a star she is. A star of now, a star of the future. Martha Harris, Hannah Silcock taking the handshakes, taking their medal around the neck. They've all got the GoPros out. This will find its way onto the Birmingham social media channels. You bet. Coming to an Insta profile near you. Bathsheba Louis today was selfless, playing up front, creating space for others. Contender for the player of the match, Oceane Hurt. What a start. Sato Miyagawa. Signed from Hammarby. She was playing Europa Cup football earlier this season with Hammarby. Experienced Japanese international, and they are almost all ready for the trophy presentation. All gathered behind the sponsors board. Chelsea Cornet has got her medal. Captain on the day. But it's Christy Harrison-Murray, who has ended the season injured, who, as club captain, will take the trophy from Nikki Doucette, the CEO of WSL Football. And champions for 25-26, the Barclays WSL 2 belongs to Birmingham City. Flares, the ticker tape flies, and Birmingham have their hands on the silverware. And next season, Gilly Flaherty, they are back in the big time.
Yeah, it's exciting for Birmingham. Obviously, you fight all season long, and one person gets at the moment like this. Obviously, of course, Palace have been promoted as well, but to be able to have this, I've been fortunate enough that in my time, in regards to cup finals that I've won, that feeling there, to be a winner, and to be celebrated like that, you just cannot beat it at all.
Something about your teammates as well. These players will glance to their left, glance to their right. They'll remember, freed from desire. They'll remember Harrison Murray going mad, losing her head with Chelsea Cornet as the trophy was being lifted and the champagne was being drunk. They'll be sisters for life. Amy Merricks is right in the mixer. It's a party that will go on for a long time in the city of Birmingham. When the club had their takeover a couple of years ago, the aim was for the men's team to get to the top flight. Very soon they realised, let's get there with everybody. The women were brought under the same blanket, and it is they that have reached the top flight before the men. Cornet and Harrison Murray have shared captaincy duties this season. Wonderful photo for the mantelpiece. All the coaches are in there. Niamh Heron on the right-hand side of that group went off with what looked like a knee injury late on. We hope that's not a serious injury. It's great to see her part of these celebrations. But still, the phones are out for the selfies. Mind the ticker tape. Don't get your feet tangled, don't get injured at this moment. Now comes the moment they can take the trophy and they can go and celebrate with their fans. The old saying, defence, attack wins matches, defence wins championships. It didn't come to pass. Attack wins championships. Birmingham's brilliance wins championships, and though there was the occasional stutter late on, they are worthy winners of that shiny Barclays WSL 2 trophy. It will be a sore one for Charlton Athletic and their fans. Gary Neville used to say, when you're beaten in a final, and this felt like a final, you have to stay and take your medicine. You have to watch the team lift the trophy. Well, they might have had to, because this is on their pitch. And Charlton Athletic have to reboot, reload and go again. But Birmingham and their fans will have a good few weeks to celebrate before all attention turns to the top flight next season, as the Birmingham anthem rings out around Charlton Athletic's Valley home. Great moment for Niamh Heron, who has been a star. Big fan of Shannon Cook with the boards, and these players will now take turns in their Jurgen Klopp moment. Goad the fans, rouse the fans, and get their big cheer. Fans young and old in the stands will remember this moment. You made the point, Gilly, that careers are long and they're short. You might get 15 years out of a good career, but it'll fly by in a heartbeat. But it's moments like these that you'll take with you forever.
Yeah, you'll never forget moments like these. And you're right. If Charlton, you should stay there. You should watch it, because you've got another opportunity to get yourself up, get yourself promoted. You take the hurt, and when you come up in that playoff against Leicester, you are at home as well. You remember it, and you make sure that you never ever feel like that ever again.
Birmingham City knew a victory would guarantee the title. Anything else, and well, they might miss out in the same way that Charlton have missed out, and they went out to win it. Nice moment between the two captains there. Christy Harrison Murray just handing the trophy to Chelsea Cornet and saying, come on, now it's your turn. Take in the adulation. She's led the team for the final half dozen of games. Lucy Thomas had a terrific game today, clean sheet against the league leaders, who've been knocked off their perch right on the final day.
Once again, congratulations, Birmingham City. Just a moment, I think the gaffer wants to have a few words with us.
Fair play to the stadium announcer who's congratulating Birmingham City. And Karen Hills is now going to address the home fans.
The
toughest of team talks that Karen Hills might have given all season, Gilly.
Yeah, it is difficult because obviously they're at home as well. You don't want to have to address your fans, and sometimes it can put a bit of a dampener on the season. You know that they have been consistently at the top, and they fell short this time. But like she says, 2.5 weeks time, they've got another opportunity, and they're going to need as many fans there as possible to really push them on in that all-important game.
Well, they did stay, and they did take their medicine, the Charlton players, Katie Lockwood and Lucy Fitzgerald among those players to have stayed and watched the celebrations, as painful as that is. And now the Birmingham players can really take in the moment with their fans. Hug for the family from the Birmingham skipper, Christy Harrison-Murray. So confirmation, Birmingham are champions. Crystal Palace are promoted in second place after a thumping, rattling win over Portsmouth. As the celebrations continue here, Karen Carney has made her way down to the on-field celebrations and is taking a moment to congratulate the new generation of Blue-Nose stars. Karen has followed the same path. Now an investor at this fantastic club that was a founder member of WSL 16 years ago, and they are back in the Barclays WSL for 26-27, along with Crystal Palace, who've been promoted after a romping win over Portsmouth. Well, Palace wouldn't have known what was going on in our game, but they went 1-0 down inside 5 minutes. Meg Hornby for already relegated Portsmouth, whipping one into the opposite corner direct from a corner. Palace knew that if they won, they were definitely promoted. And they continued to fashion chances. Annabelle Blanchard has been a star all season. Molly May Sharp managed to pounce on the loose ball, levelling up the match just a couple of minutes later. Still inside 10 minutes here. And at that point, all square in Charlton Birmingham. It was all square again in Palace Pompey. So it was as we began the day. In the second half, Crystal Palace came out and made a statement. Ash Veerden went round the goalkeeper and tucked the ball into the unguarded net. 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Now in a promotion position. Veerden, 10 assists this season. With that goal, becomes the leader in terms of goal involvements, goals and assists this season. And then she added to it too with a really smart touch and finish across Gray. 3-1 Crystal Palace. Smiles as wide as the River Thames from Ash Veerden and Lola Brown, who helped create the goal. Veerden managed to find some space around the back of Jazz Bull, cut the ball back to Kirsty Howard. No mistake. And at this point, they were absolutely flying, the Eagles, soaring, in fact. Tough season for Portsmouth, already relegated. And you could see that when Blanchard got him round the back, Jazz Bull, the captain, was the only one really desperately trying to limit the damage. That was 5-1 Crystal Palace. The celebrations really underway. the knowledge that regardless what happened at the Valley, they would be playing in the top flight next season. And they continue to probe, continue to turn up the heat. Brown with the cross, Hughes at the far post nodding in. The Wales international capping a truly fine day for Crystal Palace. And they might not have got the silverware, but the crystal's good enough. So Birmingham City are the BWSL 2 champions, and they will drag Crystal Palace with them up into the top flight. And they may yet be joined by Charlton. Let's not forget, in 2.5 weeks' time, as Karen Hills was alluding to in her full-time speech to the fans, they have the relegation promotion playoff against Leicester City, but it is not the day that they were dreaming of. Let's recap the previous couple of hours at the Valley. Well, Charlton had started really well, but when Birmingham started spreading the ball to the wide players, Crosthwaite and Hurt, the game swung the other way. This was Crosthwaite laying on for Hurt, whose effort was well saved by Whitehouse. And then, as if following her lead, Hurt went the long way round Newsham and dropped one right on the head of Laidhammer, who nodded in her 6th WSL 2 goal of the season. Put Birmingham in front, and at that point they leapt to the top of the as it stands table. Brilliant work at the far post by the Swede, who then forced a good save from Whitehouse from the free kick. Louis almost doubling the lead, but all the congratulations were for the goalkeeper for that save there, keeping the damage to 1 goal. But then in the second half, Laidhammer from Hurt's corner found too much space when surrounded by red shirts, clipping the ball into the top corner. Gilly Flaherty alongside me was scathing about the Charlton defence. How was she allowed the time to find the space? But she was. And Laidhammer's 2 goals were all that separated the side. She could have had a hat-trick. Couldn't direct the header on Whitehouse's goal. And there was a little bit of a late wag in the tail from Charlton, but at this point it was too little too late. Shot from Bradley was well saved by Thomas, who was keen to hold on to a clean sheet and wrap up the title win for Birmingham City. And then a late effort from the free kick, also well saved from Lucy Thomas. It was as close as Charlton came on a day where they were not anywhere near their best going forward. Birmingham City were. Martha Harris takes the congratulatory cuddle. Shanna Cook is holding that trophy like it's a newborn baby. Louise Quinn and Keris Harrop there in the stands, front row seat for the former Blue Noses. Louise Quinn retired just last year. Keris Harrop played almost 150 times for Birmingham City, and that is why the players are now getting a hug from 2 of the club's favourite daughters. Lovely moment in the stands. It's not just the local players that have family in the stands as well. What a moment for all of those players. Trying to pass the trophy into the stands. I don't think that's the done thing. Keep it. Oh no, it's just for a photo being taken from the stands. Okay, so let's wrap up the season. You can see, and if you've been with us for the last 2 hours, you'll be in no doubt that Birmingham City have won the title. They are Barclays WSL 2 champions, but only just. Crystal Palace did their all. Had they have won 11, then maybe they would have been promoted as champions. But on the same points, they've lost out on goal difference, but they are automatically promoted to the top division. Charlton finished 3rd, and so they will play Leicester City at the Valley in a relegation promotion decider. That will be on the 23rd of May. Bristol City finished best of the rest, so 4th for them, and they will feel that they could be good marks for promotion next season. And down the bottom, it was already all decided after a brilliant late flurry in the season by Ipswich Town. Durham and Sheffield United had done enough, and Portsmouth, with their heavy defeats to Crystal Palace today, just confirming that they were already relegated at the foot of the table. And so the ticker tape is now blowing around on the grass. The dust is beginning to settle, but the trophy has not lost its sheen. 21 games and English football's second tier went right to the wire. Charlton led the league all season. Birmingham reeled them in for a final day shootout while Crystal Palace were waiting in the wings. And after a dramatic afternoon in the South London sunshine, Birmingham and Crystal Palace are promoted. And as you can see, Birmingham City are Barclays WSL 2 champions. Thanks, everybody.
It seemed to ramp up as well, yeah. It seemed to ramp up as well the last, like, 20, 30 minutes or so.
It's our hot air, isn't it? The more we speak, the more